Anytime you see a horse toss his head up in a transition, that means the back is weak. So keep that in mind. Anytime you see the head come up in an upward transition, the back is weak. So we're going to have to work more on that. This is Hemi here, and Hemi is here for cross training. I've talked in the past about how beneficial cross training can be. She is a finished and pretty successful timed event horse, and she is here to cross train into ranch riding. Cross training like that is really good for their mind, gives their mind something else to think about. She's not going to run every time she goes into the arena. It's going to help with any alley issues or prevent alley issues. It's also going to kind of slow some things down for her, which is actually going to help her longevity as a barrel horse. And the things that I'm going to teach her for ranch riding is actually going to help her maneuverability and her body control around the barrel. So not only is it going to cross train her to another event, what she's going to learn is actually going to help her in the event that she already does. The first thing that I need to do with her is get her a little bit softer in the face. As you see, we got on and walked her around. She's carried her nose out a little bit. Has an okay walk. I'd like it to be a little bit more with purpose, but it's not too bad. But the first thing we're going to do is ask her to bring her nose in. I always pay attention to how hard the horse's feet hit the ground. It's just something that I can just feel, and I can tell she's hitting the ground a little bit hard with her front feet. Not bad, but a little bit. And by bringing her nose in, rounding her back, that's going to help that, and potentially have other effects, like maybe prevent future soundness issues in the front end. It's the kind of thing you don't really know, but I feel like it has to help. So we're going to talk about bringing her nose in and how I'm going to do that. I see a lot of people take and bring their hands this way. Whoa. Don't have that yet. Bring their hands this way to bring the nose in. But if you think about the anatomy of the horse's neck comes up here, horse's neck really bends this way, breaks at the pole, and the leverage of the bit turns that way also. So everything about the horse's anatomy up here says it should bend this way. I don't want to pull back. What I want to do is I want to lift because I want to encourage that bending. That's really the important point that I want to get across in that lesson. When I'm pulling back, in a way I'm kind of saying stop, but I have to kick to make the back end go. It's a little bit contradictory there, but if I take my hand and lift, keep encouraging her to go forward with my seat and my legs. Now I'm getting that break at the pole. That's the roundness and the softness that I'm wanting. I'd like her to stay there for a few steps, and then I'll soften. In the very beginning, as soon as I would get a step, I would reward right away. I've been working for her for a few days now. I don't think she's been here a week yet. And ask her nose to come in. Keep her going forward, lift my hands a little bit, encourage that roundness in the neck and the break at the pole, hold it for a step or two, and then release. When you first start teaching a horse to give to a pressure, you're immediately going to release the pressure. But you're not going to always immediately release. A lot of people miss that point. As the horse progresses, you want the horse to start to stay in that frame longer and longer. So as I ask her and as she understands what I'm asking for, I'm going to ask her to hold it a little longer and a little longer. I'm going to pay attention to her rhythm of her feet. Not giving me as much as she did a minute ago. Let's shorten my reins a little bit. Lift. leg, using my leg, my leg, my leg, squeezing with both spurs. See how she gave and then tried to pull it back. She's not really trying to do what there. She wasn't really trying to do what I was asking. She was just trying to get me to let go. I don't want the response of her bouncing her head to just get me to let go. I want her to actually soften and hold it there. See how she's pulling back? She's coming down and then pulling back. She has to hold it there for a couple of steps. Keep going. And then I'll release. And notice, I know a lot of clinicians teach as soon as you get that release, as soon as you get that movement and you want to release, throw that rein back. Notice I'm not throwing that rein back, I'm easing my hand down. The reason you start doing that as the horse progresses is if I throw my hand down, she's going to start throwing herself back down on her front end. I'm going to ease my hand down so that she holds that roundness a little bit longer, a little bit better, because that is the whole point of this, to teach her to get round and stay round, use her back muscles, collect up. I need this for everything I'm going to ask her to do in ranch ride. I need this for good quality gaits. Need it for transitions, upward transitions, downward transitions. I need that roundness. And I see so many people take them reins and try to bump that horse's head off of the reins. That's a really bad thing to start doing, because I don't want to make this horse just rubbernecked. I want to lift this whole horse up, make the whole horse round. I just released a video of that Mustang that we just started that had way too much groundwork before his first ride. So much groundwork to the point where he was rubbernecked and we had no body control. It's really important. You want your horse to be soft, but you want your horse to be soft throughout the body and round its body and use its body correctly, not just throw its head down, throw it back up, and just bring the nose over here and let the rest of the body be wrong. You want to work the body as a cohesive unit. The whole body needs to collect. Neck needs to round, shoulders need to lift. It all needs to come together. I don't always spend a lot of time working the front and the back in the same ride, but when you work in this collection, you're doing some of both the front and the back, because as I take up the slack, ask her to come off my hands, I'm using my spurs, lifting her back up, sending her forward. Now let's take this up to a trot and let's see what happens. See how she tossed her head up? She's trying to, let's talk about that. I see this a lot. A horse will toss its head in its transitions. And what will happen, it's doing that so that it can get its shoulders up to do the transition. That's because the horse isn't round enough and strong enough in the back end to really transition and push off in the back. My mission for my training program is to try to make every horse as good as they can be. If you want to talk to me about sending a horse to me for training, send me a message and we'll talk about it. Anytime you see a horse toss his head up in a transition, that means the back is weak. So keep that in mind. Anytime you see the head come up in an upward transition, the back is weak. So we're going to have to work more on that. Take my slack up, let's ask for a trot. Still hands up and in front. See that nose, that's trying to come up, trying to come out, head up, to kind of open up the shoulders so that it can use its shoulders. What's happening here is the horse is inverted through its back right here, and she's trying to pull herself forward in her shoulders. This is actually going to help her in her barrels because she's going to be more balanced front to back. So again, hands up, a little bit of release. Now that I've gone to trotting, I'm going to release her a little bit earlier. Left rein, left leg, left rein, left leg, soften. We're doing a left circle, Primarily going to work left. Kind of works to my bend exercise. Primarily left. Soften. Notice the direction I'm pulling my hand. I'm pulling it up, not back. Encouraging the neck to bend. Encouraging the break at the pole. Soften. And you notice since we increase speed, I'm not asking her to hold it as long as I was when we were walking. Let's go the other way. Let's see if she does about the same the other direction. Let's try it this way. See if her head pops up. Not as bad as the other direction. See how much better that was on this side? She's able to hold this side a little bit better, the right side a little bit better at a trot than she is the left side. That was even a little bit of a downward transition through the break at the pole. And you notice she didn't toss her head as much when we transitioned up to a right trot circle as she did a left trot circle. That's important because that tells me that she is heavier on her left shoulder than she is on her right shoulder. Her right shoulder is up a little bit better than the left. That tells me I need to put a little bit more work into the left. And you're not going to be able to see it, but I can actually look down her neck and I can see a little bit better muscle definition over here than I can over there. The muscle definition isn't balanced, it isn't equal, and better definition on the right than there is the left. I've talked about asymmetrical muscle development a lot, and horses are left and right sided, they're front and back sided, and you have asymmetrical. Typically your diagonal corners are similar. Front right, back left would be similar. Front left, back right would be similar. So when you have a asymmetrically balanced horse is going to be better to the left or to the right, going to be better one direction or the other. And you even see that to the point of in the gaits where the horse might be striding better in the back on the right side than it is on the left side. And you have to look at that and know enough about what you're looking at to know that that's not lameness, that's muscle definition, that's muscle development, asymmetrical muscle development. Every horse has that, every young horse especially. And the more advanced horses, you get them a little bit better balanced, that asymmetrical muscle definition will kind of go away. Hers really isn't that bad because she works a regular job running timed events, and I would be willing to bet that her circles around her right barrel is better than her circles around the left barrel. I bet she leaves the right turn better than she leaves the left turn. I have no idea. I've never seen this horse run a barrel, but that's just my guess. I bet the owner will tell me. So that's going to be it for this horse. This is Hemi. I'll have a link up here to her playlist. This is the first video that I've done of her, and we'll talk about her development as a ranch riding horse. Until next time, thank you for watching.